guys, surprise video today covering the fires and explosions in food processing plants. Dan P said, can someone explain to me why we've had so many fires and explosions in food processing plants? Come on guys, open your eyes. What's even more odd is they seem to be exploding and or catching fire on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Well, that's interesting. And this person of it, Mr. Bill K for Freedom, says paying farmers not to plant crops. It's another way to starve people out. He's saying it's not due to that, but it's yeah, because the other things didn't work as planned. That's what he's saying. I did also click on that, which is the goal is to add 4 million acres of farmland to the Conservation Reserve Program, which takes land out of production to blunt agriculture's environmental impact. So they're doing this because of environmental reasons, so they say. Okay. Michael Steinberg said the systematic destruction of the food supply, food processing plants galore gutted by fire, tens of millions of chickens and turkeys are destroyed because of bird flu. China buys up 200,000 acres of US farmland, the biggest owner of which is Bill Gates. Coincidence? No chance. Caleb Jordan Schultz says, super odd that there's been over a dozen fires or explosions at food processing plants in the last month, as well as 2 separate instances of planes crashing into plants. I mean, what are the chances? Seems really suspicious. Then we have Paddy Girl, food processing plants destroyed by fires, land being bought up by Gates, fertiliser shortages, seems like a coincidence, brought to you by Be Prepared. I'm trying to code talk here, guys. Okay, we've got Monday, April the 18th, Azure Standard Headquarters in Oregon, there was a fire. Wednesday, April the 13th, that's this year, Taylor Farms, Salinas, California, fire. Wednesday, April 13th, Gem State Processing, Idaho, airplane crash. Monday, April the 11th, East Conway Beef and Pork, New Hampshire, fire. Thursday, March the 31st of this year, Rio Fresh, Texas, fire. Monday, March 28th of 2022, Marco B, a food pantry, Arizona, fire. Wednesday, March the 16th, Walmart Fulfillment Center, Plainfield, Indiana, fire, and they've got that twice for some reason. Okay, it's in there twice. Sunday, March the 13th, 2022, Hot Pockets plant at Jonesboro, Arkansas, fire. Monday, February 28th, Shearer's Food, Hermiston, Oregon, boiler explosion. Tuesday, February 15th, Bonanza Company, El Paso, Texas, fire. Thursday, February 3rd, Wisconsin River Meats, is that Moston, Wisconsin, fire. Tuesday, February the 1st, Harper's Market Poultry Plant, Hamilton Mountain, fire. Friday the 21st of January, Potato Plant, Warden, Washington, a fire. Friday, January 14th, Cargill Nutrina Feed Mill, Lecomte, Louisiana, explosion. Saturday, the 1st of January, Van Drunen Farms, Momence, Illinois, fire. Sunday, December the 12th, 2021, Westside Food Processing Plant, San Antonio, Texas, fire. Saturday, November the 30th, Midright Steak Company, Kansas City, Kansas, fire. Monday, September the 13th, JBS USA, Nebraska, a fire. Tuesday, August 24th of 2021, Patak Meat Processing Facility, Cobb County, Georgia, fire. Sunday, the 25th of July, 2021, Kellogg Company, Memphis, Tennessee, fire. Tuesday, January 12th, 2021, Deli Star Meat Plant, Fayetteville, Illinois, fire. Friday, August the 9th, 2019, Tyson Foods Inc., Kansas, fire. Now this has started a couple of years ago and slowly getting more and more frequent. Okay, So let's keep going. 16 plus food processing plants catch on fire. Explode? Strange trend of food processing plant fires appears across the US. At least 16 fires have broken out at food processing plants, impacting the nation's supply of beef and poultry. Okay, well, when you look at that, and you look at the environmental stuff, and you know that they want you not to eat meat, then that makes sense. 76 News. Are you paying attention? Nothing to see here, just every food processing plant, pantry and distribution centre in America randomly catching fire and exploding within the space of a few weeks. Well, it's happened over a couple of years, more and more, but they are coming more and more in the last few weeks. It's just probably that we've noticed them because they've started coming more closer together. There are no such things as coincidences. These were not accidents. Wake up. Okay, let's have a look. 550,000, sorry, oh my goodness, I can't read anymore. 50,000 pounds of food destroyed after fire ripped through Maricopa food pantry. 7 injured in explosion as fire engulfs food plant, smoke visible for miles. Rio's fresh onion warehouse damaged in fire. Last month, Walmart distribution centre. Taylor Farms plans to reopen Selena's plant by next year. Then you have Bonanza Meat Company building fire near downtown El Paso. Fire erupts at meat processing facility in Lackawanna County. Crew battle major fire at Cobb County Meat Company. This is a lot of meat companies, isn't there? Fire shuts down Nebraska JBS beef plant. Massive fire at Selena's food processing plant contained. Evacuations lifted. Cattle rescued after fire destroys meat market. Large fire at Tyson poultry meal plant in Huntsville, Alabama. Fire shut down Hot Pockets plant in Jonesboro. Wisconsin River Meat says portion of Moston plant a total loss after fire. Now they've all got the dates here, and they all go from 2021 to 2022 as far as I can see. Some of the dates I can't quite read, but yeah, it does look like that. Fire destroys Deli Star meat plant in St. Clair County. Explosion that caused fire at Oregon potato chip plant. Fire causes over $100,000 in damages at San Antonio food processing plant. Fire ravages Macron potato processing plant in Belfast, Maine. Multiple alarm fire at food processing operation on Hamilton Mountain. Memphis Fire Department responds to third alarm fire at Kellogg's Company. Explosion and fire reported at Cargill Nutrina feed mill. That is very interesting, isn't it? And I have a couple of theories on this. And Monty Pocket 99, The Hobbit, says some 600 Tesco stores are closing their fresh fish, meat and deli counters. It has already started. You heard it here first, and don't let them tell you it's because they're cutting costs. My first part-time job, aged 16, in SA, besides babysitting, was working at the deli at one of the first big supermarkets called Hyperama, serving fish. I hated touching the roll mops, lol. Yes, so there are some interesting... How does someone who makes $174,000 a year pay $24,000 a month in rent? Soros, anyone? Anyway, okay, let's go on to, where is it? Over here. Okay, because there's quite a few of them. So, though rarely reported by mainstream news, there have been an unusual number of significant fires in food processing facilities around the country this year, and even going back into last year. The fires are starting to give rise to noteworthy chatter online, especially as the administration, whose policies largely support the Great Reset, pushed by the World Economic Forum and World Health Organization, warns us about food shortages. Isn't that interesting? Interestingly, the fires caught the attention of Tucker Carlson of Fox News, who discussed several of the blazes last night. Speaking of a plane that crashed at a General Mills plant in Georgia yesterday, Here's part of what Carlson had to say. This is the second time in a week something like this has happened. On April the 14th, a plane crashed into the Gem State Processing Potato Facility in eastern Idaho. What's going on here? Well, the story gets weirder. Food processing plants all over the country seem to be catching fire. A couple of days ago, a fire destroyed the headquarters of Azure Standard, one of the largest organic food distributors in the country. At the end of last month, a fire severely damaged a fresh onion packing facility in South Texas. An Oregon and potato chip processing plant had a boiler explosion that sent workers to the hospital. So industrial accidents happen, of course. But this is a lot of industrial accidents at food processing facilities happening at the same time the president is warning about food shortages. They're getting hit by planes and catching fires. Fire. What's going on here exactly? Oh, wow. This is a picture of Gates Landholding. Okay, so what they own. In Washington, 16,097 acres. In Idaho, 9,233 acres. In Wyoming, 975 acres. Colorado, 2,270 acres. California, 4,509 acres. Arizona, 25,750 acres. New Mexico, 1 acre. Wisconsin, 1,188 acres. Iowa, 552 acres. Illinois, 17,940 acres. Arkansas, 47,927 acres. Louisiana, 69,071 acres. Mississippi, 16,963 acres. Michigan, 2,167 acres. Ohio, 8,915 acres. Indiana, 9,136 acres. North Carolina, 874 acres. And Florida, they own 14,828 acres, which is a total of 268,984 acres. And that consists of farmland being 242,000 acres. Transitional is 25,750 acres. Recreational is 1,234 acres. Uncover DC confirmed 24 facilities linked to our food supply were impacted by fires, 19 of them happening this year. There could be more. While there's been no concrete evidence that any of the fires are connected or were intentionally set, we felt it relevant to list them, especially since Mr. Gates is the largest owner of farmland in the United States. Here they are with a brief description of what we found out about each one. On April 21st, the General Mills plant in Covington, GA, 2 people died after a plane crash into an empty lot at General Mills plant in Covington, GA, used to store tractor trailers. Witnesses believe the aircraft had trouble gaining altitude when it suddenly veered right and immediately came down into the lot. The plane appeared to explode upon impact, catching several empty trailers on fire due to the crash. The police captain said that many lives were saved because the plane did not directly crash into the plant, as it crashed about 300 feet away from the plant. The NTSB is investigating the crash. On April the 18th, at Azure Standard, Dufur, Oregon, the headquarters of Azure Standard, a premier independent distributor of organic and healthy food, was destroyed by fire. There were no injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown and under investigation. Local news reported that records from local sheriff's logs stated lights flickered, they heard a pop and went there to check it out, and there was a fire. According to founder and CEO David Stelzer, the loss of the facility and the impact on company-wide operations are being assessed and expected to be limited and temporary. No other Azure Standard facilities are affected. Okay. April the 13th, 2022, James State Processing, Heyburn. An experienced UPS pilot's plane crashed into the roof of the potato and food processing plant, killing the pilot instantly. The facility sources 18,000 acres of Idaho potatoes. The distraught father of pilot Brittany Infanger, 30, said his daughter knew the area well and often flew into the airport near the plant. He added there's a 60-foot chimney sticking out of the food processing plant. No lights on it, dead centre, straight across the runway. So whenever you come in, you have to fly over the top of this and drop down. The airport needs to be closed, period. In April 13th, again, on the same day, Taylor Farms, Salinas, California, reports say the fire started in a wall and spread rapidly to the attic at the 225,000 processing plant. 225,000 processing plant. Okay, a major producer of fruits and vegetables. More than 100 firefighters will need to contain the blaze as there were concerns of an ammonia explosion at the plant. It is believed the plant stored 40,000 gallons of ammonia for For over 27 years, Taylor Farms, with nearly 22,000 employees, has built a network of 20 facilities across America. As the company navigates rebuilding the Salinas plant, they are currently moving into another space in Salinas. They are grateful that their Yuma AZ plant is operational. April 11th, East Conway Beef and Pork. Conway. A massive fire destroyed the butcher shop and meat market. Neighbours helped to corral cattle freed when the fire broke out. Investigators from the NH Fire Marshal's office are still trying to figure out how the fire started. The same facility burned 10 years ago. March 31st, Rio Fresh Inc. The third-generation family farming operation grows, packs and ships many Texas-grown items, including Texas 1015 sweet onions and cabbage, kale, melons and greens. The massive fire overtook the company's 100,000 square foot new fresh onion packing facility, considered the state's largest. The cause of the structure fire is still under investigation. March 28th, Maricopa AZ Food Pantry. A reported 50,000 pounds of food were destroyed after a fire engulfed the food bank just 15 minutes after it had closed. The 20-year-old food pantry has provided weekly meals for nearly 1,200 families. The organisation plans to replace the trailers with a warehouse that will also serve as a soup kitchen to feed the hungry. Thunderbird Fire Chief Alan Alcott said he's not sure of the cause, noting there are indications that an animal under one of the trailers may have been chewed and shorted out some of the wires, causing the blaze. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. There are indications that an animal under one of the trailers may have chewed, not been chewed. Okay, that was me. Sorry, guys. Bit of a slip of the tongue there. I was thinking, how's the cattle been chewed? Oh, dear. March 24th, the massive fire, Penobscot Macrum Potato Processing Facility, Belfast, Maine. The massive fire, which is reported to have started in one of the fryer-lader machines, caused smoke so thick that active flames weren't visible. The Macrum family plants, grows, cares for, harvests, stores, ships and processes potatoes. The family is still determining the next steps for the factory and how to support its employees. I'm really not having a good time reading today. March the 16th, Walmart Distribution Centre, Plainfield. Smoke from the large fire in the 1.2 million square foot warehouse was visible for several miles. In addition to food, the warehouse contained various items set for distribution, including clothing, electronics and shipping materials. 30 agencies responded to assist the Plainfield Fire Department in putting out the fire, with crews working in 4 to 6 hour shifts, each to stay fresh while fighting the blaze. The investigation into the cause of the fire involved the AFT, who reported that the investigation into the fire could take weeks or months. March 16th, Nestle Jonesboro plant, Jonesboro. A fire with an explosion caused extensive damage to the new production line at the Nestle Jonesboro plant, which produces frozen foods for the Stouffer's Lean Cuisine, DiGiorno, I don't know how to say that, Tombstone, Hot Pockets and Sweet Earth brands. None of the company's 800 employees were injured, and the facility remains closed to assess the damages and determine the cause of fire. Ryan White, an employee for Nestle, said he is counting his blessings after being released from his 12-hour shift at the production line 6 hours early. He said if we would have stayed, we would have been right in the line of that fire. Local news reports said the facility, opened in 2002, suffered significant damage to new Hot Pockets production line, added in 2021, in a $100 million investment. March the 14th, Wayne Hoover Dairy Farm, Long Swamp Township, PA. More than 20 fire companies responded to the massive fire at the Berks County farm, which was destroyed by the blaze. The 42 cows in the barn all managed to get out safely, but sadly one cow died of stress in transport to another farm. The state fire marshal ruled the barn fire an accident, saying it appears to have started due to electrical activity. February 28, 2022, Nutrien AG Solutions, Sunnyside, WA, a tremendous commercial structure fire at the fertiliser facility started from smouldering sulphur, according to reports. An 18,000 square foot storage building at the plant was destroyed by the fire and no one was injured. More than 1.7 million pounds of sulphur burned, though the fire officials were more concerned with the hazardous ammonium sulphate. Authorities say 236,000 pounds of the substance, considered the most dangerous chemical in the plant, burned early into the blaze. The fire occurred shortly after a load of sulphur was deposited in the building. Sunnyside Fire Chief said the fire department believes the fire was mechanical, but there isn't a way to know for sure because the fire damaged the machinery used to unload the sulphur. The facility is back in operation except for the dry fertiliser shed and the liquid fertiliser loadout area. February 28, 2022, Shadow Brook Farm and Dutch Girl Creamery, Lincoln, NE. The 4:30 fire gutted the $200,000 facility and landed one of the owners in the hospital. According to the state fire marshal, the fire was accidental and electrical in nature. The farm owners are determined to reopen their cheese facility, which cost $80,000 worth of cheese and $8,000 of seeds in the blaze. February 22, 2022, Shearer's Food, Hermiston, OR. A massive explosion and fire destroyed the potato chip plant. 2 weeks after the fire, the company laid off all of its nearly 250 employees. The company is exploring its options, noting that it will take at least 15 to 18 months to rebuild to the point of resuming production. The fire is believed to have been caused by the explosion of a portable natural gas-powered boiler. Very interesting, isn't it? Okay, just wait for my theory at the end. But anyway, I'll continue. February 19th, 2022, Lincoln Premium Poultry, Fremont, NE. 3 people were injured and 1 hospitalised after an ammonia leak at the plant which supplied Costco with chicken products. The Fremont Fire Department reported the leak began around 7:45 p.m. and occurred due to a contractor working on a project. Doesn't sound sus at all, does it? February 18th, 2022, Best View Farm, St Albans, VT. The fire believed to have begun around 2 a.m. in the milking parlour, destroyed a barn and displaced nearly 800 cows. Thankfully, no one, including the animals, were injured due to the fire. Within hours, farmers in the surrounding area and throughout the state stepped in to support the owners and take care of the cows. It is unclear what caused the fire, if it started in the milking parlour. February 16th, 2022, Louise Dreyfus Company. Oh. Louise Dreyfus Company. Is that Julia Louise Dreyfus? Anyway, okay. LDC, Claypool IN. A fire broke out at the largest soybean and biodiesel processing plant in the United States, doing an undetermined amount of damage. Routers reported that the suspension of deliveries could slow production of soy meal and biodiesel at a time of high demand, adding maintenance shutdowns at plants in Iowa and Minnesota in recent months have contributed to soaring prices for the animal feed and biofuel. The facility upgraded in 2020 to add 2 new storage barns that each hold up to 3 million bushels, is back open, and the cause of the fire remains undisclosed. February 3rd, 2022, Percy Dairy Farm, Stowe, I don't know how to say that, VT. The 911 call for the fire came in around 11:30 p.m. It took 9 fire departments over 6 hours to fully knock the fire down. Over 100 cows were killed in the blaze. The cause of the fire has not been disclosed. Owner Paul Percy, who was away on a fishing trip when it happened, said he has insurance to cover the cows but has no place to put them at the moment. He's waiting on the insurance adjuster, noting they will probably rebuild something somewhere. Sounds promising. January 31st, 2022, fertiliser plant, Winston-Salem, NC. About 6,500 people were under evacuation orders for 3 days after a fire broke out at a North Carolina fertiliser plant, which officials said risked becoming one of the biggest explosions ever to occur in the US. Ammonium nitrate is apparently to blame, with the environmental group Earth Justice calling the disaster entirely preventable had the Environmental Protection Agency strengthened federal regulation. Oh, is this a call to go more environmental here and pull more regulations in there? I don't know. It's kind of looking a few ways here at the moment. January 13th, 2022, Cargill Nutrina feed mill, LeCompte, LA. A fire started in the early hours of the morning and burned for over 12 hours. An explosion occurred as firefighters working the fire. The 140,000-tonne mill manufactures feed for pet food, agriculture, equine, beef, poultry, dairy and wild game industries. The cause of the fire is unknown and remains under investigation. December the 12th, 2021, Westside Food Processing Plant, San Antonio, Texas. An unnamed food processing plant has suffered over $100,000 in damages to food supply, resulting from a cooler that caught on fire. The cause of the fire is currently unknown. Resulting from a cooler that caught on fire, but the cause of the fire is currently unknown? Does anyone else see a problem here? I mean, I'm seeing a couple of problems in some of these, you know. November the 29th, 2021, Maid-Rite Steak Company, Incorporated, Scott Township, PA. The cause of the fire, which damaged much of the meat processing area, was ruled an accident. Maid-Rite Specialty Foods has become one of the largest independent producers of the USDA-inspected frozen meats in the United States. Authorities say they think the fire started in a wall. The company's human resources director says the building was evacuated after the fire broke out and everyone was accounted for. Scott Township Fire Chief Matt Pritchik, I don't know how to say that other than Pritchik, says a nearby pump did not work, so he called in tanker trucks to retrieve water from a nearby pond. Okay. A nearby pump did not work, so he called in tanker trucks to retrieve water from a nearby pond. That's like half a story just stopped in the middle of nowhere. What's going on here? November 15th, 2021. Is that Jarrard County Food Pantry in Lancaster, KY? Result of arson with 100% loss. 60-year-old Deborah Smalling was charged with setting the fire by throwing a lit cigarette into a pile of papers that she was seen rummaging through. Court documents stated she admitted throwing a lit cigarette butt into that pile. The pantry supplied over 1 million pounds of food to hundreds for years. The community rallied together and the pantry is now operating out of a new home. More interesting strangeness. August the 23rd, 2021, Patak Meat Products, Austell, GA. Located in Cobb County, the family-owned company specialises in fine European meats and sausages with customers spread across the country. The fire broke out in the centre of the building, causing severe damage. According to a fire department spokesman, the fire was under investigation, with no foul play suspected. The business is still rebuilding and is not yet reopened, but its online store offers products in the meantime. While devastating, the company has decided to implement significant upgrades to machinery and technology as they rebuild. July the 30th, 2021. Tyson River Valley Ingredients Plant, Hansville, AL. The 121,000 square foot plant serviced poultry processors in AL and neighbouring states by breaking down and cooking leftover chicken parts into proteins and fats for animal pet feed and pet food. The plant suffered a total loss. The cause of the fire remains unclear. Tyson recently announced its plans to replace the plant with a new $208 million facility adjacent to the one that burnt down, and plans to retain all 124 employees throughout the construction period. The new plant is set to be operational in mid-2023. And then it's got a picture or video of this guy here. We know who that is and we know what he's about. Okay, now some theories of mine. Okay, we either have this is a scare, some kind of scare, okay, or is there a cover-up of something going on here? Okay, meat plants, okay, you got to think. Because they're all burning, are they trying to get rid of some sort of evidence or something? I don't know, it just sounds very suspicious to me. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. Okay? Like what McDonald's seems to, the rumours about McDonald's seem to be. Why hasn't any McDonald's been hit by any of these, by the way? You know, the fast food restaurants. That's very interesting. Okay. Anyway, what I do think they're trying to do is cover up something there, maybe. Or they're just trying to starve everyone. Because, as we know, that is the goal for them. And a lot of it has to do with not eating meat. So, I'll leave it for you to decide. You can let me know what you think of all this down below, guys. I just thought I'd bring this to you because I found it very interesting. It does seem like at the moment it is only in the USA. Okay, I did search for anything in Australia regarding anything similar and couldn't find anything. Okay, so this seems to be happening just in the US. Okay, guys, you can let me know what you think of all this down below. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, guys, bye.